Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating social phenomenon. So picture this, your birthday's tomorrow, but instead of hyping up your birthday month like it's some sort of royal coronation, you're completely indifferent. You're treating the exact anniversary of your existence like it's just a random, totally ordinary Tuesday. For a lot of people, this completely goes against the grain. Your friends might think you're weird, your family might think you're just being difficult. There's a huge social stigma around treating your birthday casually. But we're going to look at the data and the psychology behind this to understand what's actually going on. So the big question we have to ask right out of the gate is, are you just being difficult? Are birthday haters actually weird? Well, what if you aren't being weird at all? What if instead your brain is actually employing incredibly complex psychological strategies to protect you? The psychology behind people who treat their spin around the sun like a completely normal day goes way, way deeper than you might think.
To start, we have to establish a baseline. Birthdays are one of the very few days a year where you're basically forced to be the main character, whether you like it or not. And some people fundamentally hate that. Psychologists refer to this as spotlight effect anxiety. It's a genuine physical discomfort a person experiences when attention is heavily focused entirely on them. It's that awful feeling of sitting at a restaurant, you see a cake with sparklers coming towards you, the entire staff is singing that song, and you just feel like a trapped animal, wondering if it's socially acceptable to fake your own disappearance. It's a very real, very physical discomfort.
Section 1, Control and the Expectation Gap. Okay, let's dive into this. Because this is where the psychology gets really fascinating. Avoiding birthdays isn't just about basic social anxiety. Fundamentally, it's about a deep, underlying psychological need for control. Research in personality psychology highlights individuals with what's called a strong internal locus of control. These are people who firmly believe they shape their own destiny. They want to be the pilot of their life, not the passenger. But on your birthday, you're totally thrown into external control. Other people decide how to celebrate you. They choose the restaurant, they pick the gift, they dictate the schedule. For someone with high autonomy needs, this forced passivity in their own narrative is practically psychological torture. They report much lower satisfaction with traditional celebrations because, simply put, they just want to remain the pilot of their day. Now, here's a major plot twist for you. What if they avoid the spotlight not because they hate attention, but because they actually want it too much? It seems like a total paradox, I know, but ignoring a birthday might actually stem from an intense, deeply rooted childhood desire for the perfect day. I want you to really put yourself in this headspace. Imagine being 8 years old. You've built up this massive expectation for your birthday. You've imagined a magical day for weeks, balloons, friends, and that one specific Lego set you have been obsessing over. But then harsh reality strikes. Your mom forgets to pick up the cake, 2 of your friends cancel at the last minute, and your sibling ends up getting more attention just for being excited about the pizza. This creates what is known as a massive birthday expectation gap, where a harsh reality completely crushes a vibrant childhood fantasy. Psychologist Dr. Susan Whitbourne explains exactly why this hurts so much. Our brains are essentially prediction machines. We are constantly forecasting outcomes. And when our reality fails to match our mental simulation, we experience what's called prediction error. The larger the gap between what you expected and what actually happened, the worse you feel. It's a severe, incredibly negative emotional gap. So how does the brain adapt to that? Well, it creates an emotional insurance policy. If you treat your birthday like a completely normal day, you literally cannot be disappointed. No expectations equals no disappointments. People who learned this early on, maybe from a forgotten birthday or a party gone wrong, are using a strategic defense mechanism. By never setting up the game in the first place, they guarantee they're never going to set themselves up for failure.
Section 2, the mortality counter. Fair warning, things are about to get just a little bit dark as we peel back this next psychological layer. Birthdays are literally mortality counters. When you really stop and think about it, you are celebrating being 1 year closer to the end. So congratulations, you're 1 year closer to death. Here's some cake. It's a bit grim for sure, but this plays a massive role in why some people avoid the day entirely. Which brings us to a concept with an absolutely incredible name, terror management theory. This theory suggests that humans possess a uniquely stressful awareness of our own mortality. Birthdays act as annual reminders that the clock is ticking. Now, some people cope with this mortality salience by partying harder, celebrating the fact that they are alive. But others, they cope through avoidance. Their brain is subconsciously freaking out about the void, so minimizing the milestone and treating the day entirely normally acts as a subconscious soothing mechanism.
Section 3, the perfectionist paradox.
This introduces perhaps the wildest twist yet. Some of the people who aggressively ignore their birthdays are actually the most birthday-obsessed people you will ever meet. This subset of people experiences something called idealization paralysis. Basically, they've built up a fantasy in their mind of what their birthday should be, a flawless, beautiful, Pinterest-worthy vision. The problem is, this vision is so perfect that actual reality could never possibly compete with it. So, instead of testing their perfect fantasy against the messy reality of the real world, they simply shut down the whole operation and do nothing at all. And this brilliantly illustrates a very specific personality profile. When we look at the personality of someone experiencing this paralysis, they typically share a unique combination of traits. They usually show high openness mixed with high neuroticism. They're highly creative, they feel things very deeply, and crucially, they are their own harshest critics. They demand the perfect people, the perfect moment, the perfect feeling, because anything less than that flawless ideal feels like a profound failure to them. Psychologist Dr. Brené Brown has a term for this specific type of fear: foreboding joy. It's the inability to fully lean into and embrace positive experiences because you are preemptively protecting yourself from potential disappointment. These perfectionists care intensely on the inside, but they're absolutely terrified of being let down by their own impossible standards. So from the outside, it just looks like they don't care. Section 4. Culture and authentic self-worth.
Now we need to zoom out a bit because context always matters. We can't talk about psychology without talking about culture. In Western individualism, birthdays are treated like the Super Bowl of personal validation. But in many collectivist cultures, individual birthdays simply aren't emphasized this way. The focus might be on the family or on the elders. In some places, people don't even celebrate on their actual birthday. So if you grew up in an environment where birthdays just weren't a monumental individual event, treating your birthday casually isn't psychological avoidance at all. Your baseline is just different. You aren't rejecting anything, you're just being you. So, the crucial point is this final twist. Authentic self-esteem comes from internal validation, not external celebration. The reality is that people who treat their birthday like a normal day might actually be the most psychologically healthy people in the room.
When you look at what we call the healthy ignorer, you find people with secure attachment styles and incredibly high self-worth. They possess a genuine contentment with their lives. They aren't performing indifference to protect themselves. They simply don't need a designated day on the calendar to feel valued. A birthday is nice, sure, but it doesn't define their worth because they already know their value. They feel special all the time. Which leads us to some serious food for thought. Does your birthday celebration compensate for not feeling special the other 364 days of the year? It's a powerful question, isn't it? Whether someone ignores their birthday for control, protection, cultural reasons, existential dread, or just genuine self-worth, they're navigating the complex psychological minefield of modern existence in the way that feels best to them. Think about that the next time someone casually mentions it's their birthday today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep exploring the fascinating psychology of your own life.